Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Friday, December 8th, and this is your weekly complimentary body talk session. Get yourself nice and cozy, and here we go for your weekly tune-up. So first thing I'm going to do is tap your cortices. Cortices tapping is wonderful to balance the brain. Well, there's already a breath of relaxation coming in. As I'm doing this, you can sit back and enjoy, but I also wanted to say a little disclaimer that this is not to replace medical advice. This is simply my opinion and used for information purposes, and of course, a little bit of some balancing and some energetic tune-up, but it's not meant to replace your doctor's advice. And as well, that when energy moves, sometimes it moves quite quickly. And when it does this and there's releasing taking place, I sometimes burp. I know it doesn't sound really nice, and I'm so sorry. Sometimes that's how shifts seem to come up really strongly for me, that there is burping. So just a little note that if you notice that I'm burping, that it's not from indigestion. All right, so what I'm going to anchor this session into is actually Dose of Truth Tarot's tarot reading. Tarianne Nikitas with Dose of Truth Tarot does amazing tarot readings, and she does weekly tarot readings for a little, snippet or glance at what your week may look like. So the cards that she pulled up was that there may be criticism, self-criticizing, being really critical with yourself, and disagreements. So we want to bring that, we're going to anchor that into the session, and you can notice for yourself where you criticize yourself, where you nitpick yourself, or you nitpick your family, or you nitpick your partner or your work. Whatever that's coming up for you, it's creating such anxiety. I'm feeling contracted in that my lungs, my chest, my clavicle is even tight, my back is tight, my jaw and my tongue. So it affects the way that we speak. So it's very heady. The expression is not coming from a spontaneous place, from the gut. It's coming from recipes from the mind. So we're going to dump filters from the senses. So we're going to dump filters from the eyes, from the nose, from the mouth, from the skin. And these filters, we all have them. You could think of them as filters that they filter what you see. They filter your experience. It's like those rose-colored glasses, or if you only see what's wrong in a situation. We want to dump that. So I'm going to dump all of the five senses, both physical and subtle. Skin for touch. We're going to anchor that to the heart to individuate. So we're doing physical senses and subtle senses. We're going to dump that into the heart we're going to anchor that into the heart for individuation, so that you can start experiencing more of what is actually happening in comparison to what you think is happening or what you think should be happening. And all of those thoughts and that overactive mind interfere. They become from the space from which you live your life. And there's still contraction in the heart, in the back, and I'm feeling pinching within those wing muscles in the back. The scapula is really tight, and that clavicle is really, really tight. So we're going to go ahead and do first, because we're doing this in parallel. There's a few things I'm seeing that are taking place at the same time. So I'm going to do a beautiful lymphatic drainage, dumping that especially self-criticism out of the system, that self-analyzing, critical thinking, low self-esteem, overanalyzing, and that almost feels like a doomsday kind of everything is wrong, everything will go wrong, and everything has gone wrong. We're going to dump that out of the system. It's really creating havoc. I can feel the lymphatic system really sluggish and slow, and it's messing with the meridians. So your chi is not able to flow through those meridians. Circulation of energy is a little bit skewed. I'm getting really hot. It feels like there's a building. So we're going to do a lymphatic drainage. I'm going to use the clavicle as the master controller, and we're going to dump. There's a burp there for that release. Dump it. You can do this for yourself. Down through the groin, the axilla again, over to that spleen. Oh, there's a little bit of a repair to that spleen that needs to be done. So the spleen is basically our garbage taker outer of our body, just a very layman's way of saying it. It does so much more than that. But we need to do a repair to it. So we're going to plug in, we're going to do a Seedry to the spleen. Oh, all right, there's some relaxation. I'm going to tap that in right there, Seedry to the spleen, linking into that lymphatic drainage, using the clavicle, using the clavicle as your master controller. And we're dumping all of these toxins, toxic thinking, overanalyzing, criticizing. Oh, and the breath is coming in, but it still feels that it's difficult to catch that breath. All right, so you can see for yourself where in your life do you find it difficult to catch your breath? I'm just going to be with this for a moment. If my heart is starting to pound and there's so much thinking in the heart, so much holding in that. If I surrender, if I let go, if I am with what is, it's like the carpet's going to be, I'm waiting for that ball to drop. I'm waiting for the carpet to be pulled out from underneath me. So we need to extract that. We're going to do, we're going to dump control out of the lungs. And as I say that, the back of my head, that CV1, that atlas, is really jammed in there, and it's creating pressure within the masseters. I'm almost starting to shake. So the nervous system is coming in as needing support. So I'm going to run support through the nervous system, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, running Reiki through that nervous system. Help it relax. I'm going to link that into a switching technique for the nervous system. And that thinking in the lungs, that needing to control myself, the need to control others and situations and my life, needing to control my emotions and my feelings, because that's what gets me safety. That's what helps me feel safe. There's a beautiful stomach gurgle on that. And we're going to dump control out of the lungs, anchoring that to the heart and linking that into the head, the heart, and the gut brain. Going to tap this in, dumping control. We're going to bring the natural consciousness of the lungs back in, just releasing, letting go, and bringing in the colon and the large intestines to help that release. We've got some 8th chakra coming up here, some karma that's ready to be moved out of the lungs, and I'm still tapping this in. It's really needing that whole control bit, anchoring to the heart and letting it go. There we go. We've got some eighth chakra coming in here. That past coming in through as a past life, impacting the lungs and the colon. I'm feeling not being able to control my tongue. I'm feeling the tongue being cut out. So this is a past life of a preacher. So we're going back 14th or 13th century. And anyone who spoke against the church and the control the church had over its population, anyone who spoke differently. And there was this one specific preacher that I'm seeing, a man, a monk, spoke against it. So he didn't control his tongue. He spoke from the heart. He had his tongue cut out. And then from that, there was an infection that went into the lungs, attacked the lungs, then went into the large intestines, and then he died. So we want to link that to diaphragm, small intestines. There we go, releasing that past life out of the system. In comes a body chemistry now to support any cleaning that needs to be done. So how perfect. We've got, we're in pre-Mercury retrograde. And that, I love Mercury retrograde in the sense that it's a releasing. We can use this Mercury retrograde to release, to relinquish, to dump. So I'm bringing a general body chemistry to we've got bacteria, intolerances, spores, so mold spores specifically coming up, black mold. So if your fingers are clean, you can go ahead and put some saliva into your belly button. I'm going to run this body chemistry to bacteria, mold, intolerances. There's a little release there on that one. I'm going to dump this out of specifically it's for the whole body, but it's really going to target the lungs and the large intestines. Oh, there is a really nice release. There's a nice deep breath. There we go. There's some congestion in the head and I'm feeling sweaty. So if you're starting to feel hot, that's the body chemistry getting to work. Also, if you find yourself having more bowel movements or runny ones for the next 3 days, this is the session running through. Anything longer than 3 or 4 days, that's something else. So I'm feeling hot, so that's my body getting to work. And I'm feeling congestion in the brain. I'm feeling congestion and pressure. So at the beginning of the session, we were running a beautiful lymphatic drainage for pressuring yourself, self-criticism, over-analyzing, almost like a dictator type of energy. And it's coming into the head and it's affecting their circadian rhythm. So we're going to do a lymphatic drainage of negative self-talk, any pushiness that you do, any forcing that you do towards yourself or others. You want to dump that. So, oh my God, I've just done everything wrong is what's coming up. Oh, I've messed up again. Oh, I've made so many mistakes. Why can't I just get it right? Why can't I just get it right? So we're going to dump that out of the lymph of the brain. I'm shaking, bringing in that nervous system. It's really over bombarded by this negative self-talk, this pushiness. We're dumping this out of the brain, linking that into the lymph, the lymphatic system. And we're going to drain all of this negative self-talk. Bring in the diaphragm and small intestines to help this drainage. I'm going to do a beautiful brain drain. Oh, there it goes. There's a nice breath. And we're going to do a repair to the lymphatic, the glymph in the brain. It's really creating a lot of pressure. So I'm going to run a Seedry to the lymphatic system, and then running a circulation plug-in, especially of hydration to, from, and within the lymph. And we use that hydration to and to help that the toxins and that intracellular fluid and that toxic buildup within the brain to dump, because it's really affecting brain function, thinking. You're running away with your thoughts. Oh, and it's creating tingling, and I'm almost shaking. So I'm going to link that into, I was saying that C1 was really impacted. So we'll do a full spinal balance. C1, your atlas. Oh, there is a big release on that, just holding it. And I'll link that over down to the tippiest part of your coccyx. Oh, there's a beautiful sigh. Doing a full spinal balance. We've got some built up emotion, both pathological and natural emotion, blocking that spine, blocking that intercellular fluid, blocking the, I can see that there's congestion within the nervous system. There's also congestion within that spinal fluid through the nerves. And it's creating jaggedness within the vertebra. So we're going to bring in some photon and proton blast too. So there's no splintering within your vertebra. Now I'm going to pull it up through. So we're anchoring through CV1 down by the perineum and holding governing vessel 26. Oh, there. That feels much better. There's relaxation. My eyes shifted. I can see clearly. The shaking is okay. My breathing is good. So we're going to help that nervous system release an ionic discharge through the back. There's just been so much holding. We're to ground this through the bottoms of the feet, down through the soles of the feet, through that kidney meridian point 1 at the bottom of the soles of the feet, linking that into the earth. So even if you're in the north and it's cold, try to get your feet down on, if you have hardwood floors, that would help. Or if you get your, I know we're talking about feet, but if you can get your hands into some plants, you can lay down flat as well on the floor with your feet bent and your arms out like a starfish. That also helps relax the nervous system. You can take a beautiful shower. Those negative ions through the water will help with this ionic discharge. You can take a salt bath. That's also really great. You can practice different types of breathing. So in one nostril, out the next, and then in, and then out. So you can help do breathing cycles like that. That's also very helpful. There was the burp. There was the release. All right. So thank you so much for joining me for today's world session. If you missed it or came in a little late, you can always catch it on my YouTube channel. So at Monica Marzak, www.mmarzak.com. You can find my YouTube channel there. Also, if you'd like to work privately, you can go ahead and do that. Please subscribe, like, and share, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. Thank you so much.